Green, you're on the air.
Thank you. Practice is over. Alternates and coaches, please leave the ice. Please deliver your clockwise last stone draw. You have 1 minute. Please deliver your counterclockwise last stone draw. You have 1 minute.
There's a reason I don't speak. Okay, I'm gonna put on my layer and freeze that on the other end.
Hammers for this evening. Sheet A is yellow. Sheet B is red. Sheet C is red. Sheet D is yellow.
Your sweatshirt has a different feel to it than mine. I like this one. I'm gonna rock it in my sweatshirt.
It's a cold, blustery night here in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, but we are inside where it's warm for the 2024 U21 USA Curling National Championships. Women's draw tonight. Getting into the thick of the competition. Draw number 4 for these ladies. Here we see the standings so far. Draw 3, pardon me. They all bunched together. Team Giroux, Team Johnson, Team Pekowitz, all at 2-0. Team View at 1-0. Chapman 0-1. The Bergs both at 0-2, and Miranda Shields' squad at 0-2. Here are our games for tonight's draw. On sheet B, View and Nyaberg. On sheet C, Miranda Shield and Allie Giroux. On sheet D, Gracia Berg and Ava Chapman. And our feature matchup on sheet A, Julia Pekowitz taking on Allory Johnson. Here are the teams. Team Pekowitz again at 2-0, Johnson at 2-0. Team Pekowitz with Addison Neal throwing last rocks. Julia Pekowitz skipping and playing third. Megan Stapera at second. And Alexa Pekowitz at lead. They are coached by Bill Pekowitz and Bill Stapera. And for Team Johnson, Allory Johnson at skip. Gianna Johnson at third. Morgan Zacher at second. And Bailey Vadich at lead. They are coached by Chris Johnson and Tim Solon. Joining me tonight in the booth, this is Tyler George. I am with Sean Franey. Sean, thanks for coming in on this cold night here in Eau Claire. This is a good spot to be.
Pleasure to be here. Always excited to call games with you.
And we are underway. Team Pekowitz with their first stone into the 4-foot. A missed takeout for Team Johnson, so Pekowitz looks to be going to the guard. Here is Alexa Pekowitz. Now, I talked with Alexa just a few minutes ago, and during their earlier draw, I said she was a junior at Wellesley College. She's a junior at Wellesley High School. Sean, I think that's a very easy mistake to make with a school as prestigious as Wellesley. You see that name, you think college right away. But so glad that she came in to correct me on that.
I think it's perfectly reasonable for you to make that mistake.
Thank you. I
totally understand her correcting it.
Yes.
You know, don't want to be mistaken for being too old for this event potentially.
Yes, and I thanked her for coming back and saying that. You'd be right on the borderline for being too old as a junior in college, but I love the guts to come back here into the booth and say something too. And she was very kind about it. But of course, we want to always get these right when we can. So thanks to Alexa for that.
You're a very approachable human being. I don't see any problem.
I'd like to think so. Apparently, enough that she would come back and correct me, which was, I love that. That was great. Team Johnson lead, Bailey Vadich. That come-around draw goes to the back of the 12-foot.
Alexa made 2 peaches to start the game, so.
Yeah, 2 perfect stones from the junior at Wellesley High School.
We'll see if we can mention that about 17 times tonight.
I think I have to now.
Or roll. Whoa, wait! 10. Okay.
For some clarity on the standings, Ava Chapman's team actually beat Clairview's team earlier this afternoon, so I think both those teams are 1-1 now.
That's perfect.
Going into the draw tonight, so still in the middle of the table all the same.
Yeah, the standings hold the same at least then with that. It's the takeout attempt by Team Pekowitz. Wrecks the guard, so things wide open again. Johnson with hammer, by virtue of winning the last shot draw before the game.
Just an unfortunate miss there. I think it's been interesting as the event has gone on, those hits have tended to straighten out a little bit, but obviously the first 2 hits of this game have both over curled, so we're still seeing plenty of curl even with weight.
And that break point for the curl we've seen inside the 4-foot line, especially close to the center line. We're getting far more curl there than if you go out around the 4-foot lines or outside of them.
Absolutely. And I think that's the deceptive part too, right? Because you kind of predicate it based on what you're seeing on the wings, and then you get surprised in the middle. In that case, they got surprised by it almost just running out too long.
So that hit by Morgan Zacher does remove the stone.
You got it.
Now here is Megan Stapera.
Normal. Whoa,
Bill Stapera watching intently behind the glass, as always.
Whoa.
Whether he was coaching or not, I'm sure that'd be the case.
Yes.
Whoa. Good.
Morgan, of course. Megan, excuse me, of course, a
I thought she said this.
national mixed champion
9-5. Okay, 9-5.
in mixed fours.
For real this time.
And Morgan Zacher throwing her second. Both teams now with the wide open house. Trading hits. Getting used to the conditions and the speed and the lines so far.
Yeah, Megan has had she's a younger curler in terms of years of experience compared to most of this field.
Good.
But she's, for a multitude of reasons, has had a decent level of success early on. She was on a team that won club nationals last year, and has kind of found her way into a few good positions, including this team that came in second last year at U21 Nationals.
Club Nationals, her title, that is correct. So here is Julia Pekowitz.
Whoa. No.
Skip throwing third stones. We call that pulling a Randy Furby at the elite levels. Randy of the 4-time world champions from Canada.
Yeah.
And Addison Neal playing the Dave Nedowin role on the team,
There you go.
throwing last stones.
Every time they show the shooting end, I look behind the glass and try and decide which of those men is looking more comfortable tonight.
Yeah, Bill will give anybody a run for their money on that.
Yeah.
Hard Bailey. This stick party got it.
Third, Gianna Johnson with the nice hit and stick on that rock on the outside.
She turned it a little bit.
Yeah, with the exception of those couple early on, since they've started trading ones, everything's been pretty precise on the ones. So.
And Julia Pekowitz, her second here in the first, playing an out-turn pass again.
Oh, no.
Interesting on that one. That almost seemed, compared to her normal routine, like it was a little rushed. And I wonder if there's an aspect of, well, it's a hit, we're trying to bank time in the first end. And
That can definitely be a factor on those shots.
Yep.
And it's not always a bad thing to play with pace in ends like this to bank time. But you still want to go through your normal routine in the hack.
Correct.
That's not the part where you want to save that time.
yeah,
Fresh pass.
don't skimp on that.
Yeah, conversely here for Gianna Johnson, looks like she took her time nicely, but had herself ready to shoot in the hack so she could go through the normal routine and still save time.
Line's good. Wait
So she gets a free look at a draw. We always like getting these in the first end of a game.
Whoa.
Get your weight down.
See? Yep. Go.
We didn't necessarily get to see who was throwing the draw to the buttons during the practice, but especially as a player who maybe didn't get to throw that draw, getting a free pass in an end like this is great.
Normal.
So here is last rock thrower and vice. 14 Pekowitz, Addison Neal. And the intern hit. Addison in the previous game that we called of theirs made 2 huge shots for her team in situations where they were in trouble. Escaped the jam and ended up winning the game.
Right there. I just don't want to move it in.
So
Yeah.
she's a big shot thrower, apparently.
They've had some tight moments in the first couple games so far, but they're 2-0, and there's nothing to complain about when you're in that position.
And another free look now for Team Johnson. And Allory Johnson will get to lob one down on whatever path she chooses. And great again for the skip to get that free look.
4-1,
Yeah.
so same as LSD? Okay, perfect. Okay, so like a 4-2.
It's worth noting that both these teams have sort of untraditional lineups. Morgan Zacher, who throws second, holds broom for Allory when she throws. In previous years, Morgan's thrown third as well, but a little bit of a change this year.
Always curl.
At least that's one that doesn't change the shooting lineup for us.
Correct.
So no notes that we need to make with that.
Really running. Sit down. Sit down.
I can tell you we were scrambling a little bit when Team Senzali came out with Wes at skip, Shaw at lead, Nick at second, but calling the house for Wes. So we were making notes through the first end as the roster that you're given here.
Yeah.
It's nothing like what the team that takes the ice.
That team has the award for most different rotations this year in terms of players at different positions. So far though, they've also started strong this week and are looking really good. So it sounds like what they found has really worked for them.
Hard!
Intern hit attempt here for Addison Neal.
This one's curling hard, but just enough.
Does make contact. So now a free look for Allory Johnson at where she wants to throw her hit for this blank and what line she wants to see. Choosing the center line.
Just gonna do inside out to see how it runs.
She kind of called it too. This is not a hit that you throw a lot, but it's a chance for her to see something that she may use later in the game and something that's maybe a little less familiar.
And watching the line too, that's a good teaching point for especially younger players. It's not just a throwaway. This is a chance to see the ice and what it does, and she watched that rock all the way down the sheet, so well done by her. That will be a blank in the first, or 0-0 after one end of play.
Twin Cities Orthopedics is ready to go with more doctors, specialty services, and convenient urgent care locations. Ready, set, TCO.
We're 0-0 after one end of play between Julia Pekowitz and Allory Johnson. Clean end played with some hits traded after a couple rocks in play to start the end.
Yeah, curl it, guys. Gotta go
Johnson
late.
retains hammer going to the second.
Keep going. I know you gotta go. Keep going. Yeah,
Now
keep
Pekowitz
keep
going to a
keep
center
keep
guard,
going,
so maybe
keep
we'll see
going.
some more rocks in play here in the second.
Okay.
Yeah, the start of that last end shaped up like it could have been something, but just a couple of missed shots early on, and all of a sudden it changes pretty fast.
Everything's coming off. Wait, you might need to help me with it was kind of both, but more slide. It's like up my back.
Bailey Vadich. Like she's playing the intern come around draw.
Curl side.
And Shaw, we were talking
Curl when you can.
during the previous draw about where the best placement is for this particular shot. When you're coming around a center guard with hammer, if you're going to be buried on the center guard, if it's mid to tight, where exactly do you want to be? And that spot, full 8 foot, is ideal because you're removing the freeze as a good defensive shot from your opponent, as if they do freeze, it'll be so high, you can draw open side to the 8-foot and set up a 2 that way. Anything higher, you can come around it. Anything 4-foot or deeper, then that freeze is a defensive shot that cuts down scoring space.
Right, I'd have to agree with you. I think full 8's perfect. I think if you're going to air more times than not, you'd rather bite the 4 than be somewhat into the 12.
Absolutely.
Especially with ice that's swinging as much as it is here. But no, I agree. Full 8's perfect.
Okay, that's fine.
That chips that stone into the open, sits in the top of the 4-foot.
Yeah.
Both stones are open though, so this is a chance for Team Johnson to get a little bit of a hit and roll and sit 2 for the moment at least.
Yep, whoa, close, curl.
Bailey actually, if I recall correctly, was the winner last year for Rookie of the Year at Junior Nationals.
Roll. Good.
It's an award that gets voted on by the peers every year. There's a couple different awards, but it's for the best first-time player at a Junior National event.
That's a pretty prestigious award, too.
It is, and she had a phenomenal year at Broomstones last year. She really played well and earned it, and I think most of the field voted for her as a result.
Respect from your peers means more than anything else in this sport. Well, that's great to hear.
Yep.
Megan Stepera
Yep.
playing the out-turn hit on this rock in the back of the 4-foot.
Never off. Keep going.
Sean, does seem as though the players are a little surprised by the amount of curl we're getting early in this game.
Yeah, I think that was a hair down from what Julia had asked for. But that, even at the weight she had asked for, they would have had to go on it the whole way. So that one was definitely moving.
So Team Johnson with hammer sitting 2 already. Looking to lob another one into the rings. Put some pressure on Pekowitz early in this game.
If Morgan's able to put this top 8 on this side just tucked under, it's going to put Team Pekowitz in quite a bind.
Has to sit. Has to sit up. No, we cannot bump. Okay, roll. Shoot.
So a little bit deep, but still another stone in the rings.
Yeah, there's a double on the ones in the back, pretty much with the same line she just threw.
You got it.
But they're going to wisely go for the top one, try and hit the most dangerous one. Get a couple of these moving, hopefully.
Yeah, they'd love to clear 2 if they can. So Megan Stepera playing the in-turn hit.
Whoa. Yes. Let it go. Hard.
Alexa on and off here, so it's going to be close.
Good.
And does lose 2 of those stones. Good shot from Stepera.
Yeah.
This looks a little nicer
They're on color again.
after you were just looking at 3 previously, but still a chance for Johnson to put together a multi-point end with this setup.
Let's go same turn.
To your point, that guard hasn't moved from the first rock, so at this point they should have a pretty good feel, and I think top 8 biting top 4 is still a great spot here.
Out turn, come around, draw.
Room. Always curl. Curl side.
Morgan Zacher's second of this game,
Oh, looks up.
of this end.
Okay, off.
And as we talked about with these lines, Sean, you get outside the 4-foot, that's when it hangs until it crosses that line.
Yeah.
It still does get a small piece underneath.
Do you want to just go like board and bump it? Like nose?
Yeah, both of those rocks carry just a bit further than I think she or the sweepers expected
Like
even.
board, you want to hit nose?
So it set up another chance at this double here. They're talking about maybe playing down weight versus up weight to ensure that they keep their shooter around, but at the end of the day, it looks like they're going something
I think I said only half. How much? 3/4. Okay.
closer to control probably
Okay.
here.
First side in. Okay.
can get both of these moving. Nothing wrong with removing one and rolling in two.
Yeah. I like the kind of quick conversation there, talking pro side in. That way the sweepers and the thrower are all on the same page as she gets ready to throw.
So Julia Pekowitz throwing the out turn hit. Sweepers are calling the weight, maybe being a little up, but the line a little tight as well. And that just touches that center guard. That may be the broadcaster's jinx, Sean, saying that rock hadn't moved the whole end.
And then the next one goes.
And now it's moved over to the corner. So a good opportunity again for Johnson. Try to put together a multi-point end. This is Gianna Johnson's first. Like to get this even up with the #1 counter or top of the 8-foot.
Whoa, whoa, just here. Yep, curl. Whoa. Top 8, go back, no, go back. Yes, go. Morgan, go.
Carrying a little bit, now going to the back of the house, but burying.
Yeah.
That's a good spot.
We start throwing that one last. I'm on the wrong side.
If Julia's able to make this
that was
double
her
here
first.
with her
Yeah.
second, no matter what Gianna
ready?
does with her
Yellow.
second, there should be a chance to hit and roll or make the double with the skips first from Addison. So.
Double attempt from Julia Pekowitz.
Close. Oh, whoa,
This one's still heavy.
whoa. Curl, hard.
Made contact with both. Just picks the one off. So now all about rock placement
Or we go
for
here.
Team Johnson. Where can you leave this that
I like
has
that,
the least chance of
Right
giving
here.
up a double?
Okay, little less.
Same weight though. I mean,
It's interesting because her team kind of saw that and agreed that going under there, and I have to agree, hiding a second one under the guard.
And this is where the depth of the draw really matters too.
Yep.
Something top 8s that buries at least half of the stone
Off.
would be a really good spot.
We have to leave this as high as we can.
And if it's not going to bury, there's no problem with leaving it high in the house, but
Has to sit.
T.
Can we freeze?
still
Freeze.
carrying.
Go. No bounce. Whoa.
So they sweep it back to a
Really good.
freeze.
Come on, Denny.
So maybe a chance to get out of the end now for Pekowitz. And actually bringing that back to a freeze gives Pekowitz a little more margin for error playing the freeze.
It's also not terrible for Team Johnson, though, because even if she makes it, she's got to really get to nose. If she's ever a little high side and they can see enough of it, Team Johnson will have a chance to chase. So there is a little bit of pressure here on Addison.
Her first here in the second.
Oh, he's straight.
Playing this freeze.
Gotta be all the way to him.
And making the freeze is
guys,
essentially
gotta
making a
go.
triple at this point.
You're really tight.
The line is tight and curling
Okay.
hard.
Okay. You
We're
had
listening
that
to the
thing, yeah?
conversation here now.
What'd you get?
Here?
I really like this. Well,
Yeah.
but then I don't want them to hit and roll.
Yeah, you're right.
You ever go here?
Just like that. Yeah, they probably go for this double, and then we got two over here.
Yeah, I like
that.
leaving it high, like right here.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, that's good. There?
Yeah.
I like the initial call going under the corner.
Getting pretty quick.
I mean, the way out of this end is still drawing under that guard. So drawing to the open side, you're forcing
If
your
we can
opponent
sit
into
right
playing the
in
one
front of
shot
that
that
yellow,
can
that's
kill
really
your
good.
end.
Right. I agree with that. The one thing, and I think this view is really telling, in order to get buried, they couldn't sit shot. And so no
Right.
matter what, Allory knows that even if she buries one, she's going to have a draw for two here. So if she can put this one open and tempt them to play the open side, Allory may end up having a hit for 3 or 4.
So throwing to the open side, Pekowitz will have a draw under that corner guard. And this is one of those situations of what's our opponent's out? How do they get out of this end? And their first instinct was to play the shot that takes that out away.
Right.
You're probably getting at least 3 if you make that to top 8, forcing them into an extremely difficult role where, as you said, they wouldn't be shot rock.
That's good.
But now forcing, with that stopping where it did,
Yeah.
Right here.
to play the double, and you probably have an open hit for 3.
Yeah. I think this one had less risk to it, but I tend to agree with you where the bigger number lay in going under the guard again.
Final stone, Addison Neal and her team
Gotta go.
playing the double.
Hard, Lex. Really have to go. Gotta go. Hard.
Alexa's trying to hold it.
Hard, Lex. Gotta go.
Just going to pick the 1 out and roll out.
So this will be a draw to the paint for Team Johnson
Yep.
for their 4 here in the second end. Picking the path she knows best, staying away from the guards.
You see Morgan out there cleaning. The ice has been fantastic this week from what we've seen. Speeds have been good, minimal frost, fairly clean, but even under the best conditions, you want to do everything you can to make sure that you don't have any issues as that rock approaches the house.
Final stone, second end. Allory Johnson throwing a draw to the house for a 4th point.
KT's good. Looks really good. Well,
Sweepers like the weight.
Sweepers think it's all
need
there.
backing. Yep.
Now saying maybe they need backing.
Yep.
Just in time to get enough of it, and I believe
yep.
they did need it.
That-
So it is 4.
Good
Good
communication,
communication on that shot. They lead 4-0 after 2 ends of play. And with this second end break, Steve's Curling Supplies, America's #1 curling equipment supplier for over 50 years, is proud to support USA Curling. No matter your skill level or budget, they have all of the top products from the most popular brands in the sport. Right now, you can save $10 on any purchase of $100 or more when you use the code USACurling10 at checkout. Visit us at stevescurling.com for all your curling needs. Big 4 in the second end for Allory Johnson and her team. They lead 4-0 after 2 ends. Tyler George here with Sean Franey.
Yep.
Sean, a very strong end from Team Johnson, spreading rocks out, good rock placement, setting up that 4. And now going into a defensive mode to start the end with the first shot, going wisely right into the house.
Yeah, it goes to show the rock placement in that end wasn't always exactly what Team Johnson wanted, but it was on the right tolerance, and all it took was a couple of misses from the Pekowitz team, and all of a sudden that big number really added up fast.
Alexa Pekowitz with the corner guard.
Top 4.
Start off this third,
mean,
trying to
top
put
12.
together some offense for their team.
First attempt at a corner we've seen so far, so
Yep.
I will say this Pekowitz team, they've definitely had a number of ends where they've gotten themselves down early in games, and I don't think they're any stranger to
Back 4.
being resilient and battling back. I think this will be a good battle through to the end.
Around,
Back
look
8.
around. Straight, straight.
Whoa, curl now.
Another draw into the rings for Team Johnson.
It's not terrible.
They qualified for this national championship by virtue of points from qualifier events.
They were the first team on the women's side to qualify for this championship as a result of effectively their women's tour points.
Correct.
So they had a chance to plan out a season based on knowing they were already into this event, which in a lot of ways is freeing. You get to play in events that you might not otherwise play in and learn more along the way. It's a serious advantage to having that berth.
Team Johnson's World Tour points qualifying them, and for Team Pekowitz, the junior qualifier events points got them into the tournament.
Pro side's light. Pro side's
They,
up. I like it
on the
forward,
inverse
so
side,
it's
they were the last team technically to
just
qualify for this event.
top 8 in the middle there.
And I think what's interesting about that is they came in second in the field at Junior Nationals last year. So it just goes to show that it's how competitive the field is, but B,
Feels pretty good.
kind of the expectation of getting to this point. It takes work.
Morgan Zacher throwing a third stone into the rings.
She touched the rock. Yeah.
That actually was burned before the hog line. But I suppose if there's a time to do it, that's probably not a bad one with two already in the house.
Okay, draw.
It was interesting. On Bailey's second, you heard Allory say, that's not bad, and you see the stagger there of the yellows. Typically, when you have two in, the one thing you don't want to set up is a double that also allows for the roll on the corner guard. And so at this point, Megan's going to throw the draw around those corners. A hit and roll is an option, but since there's no double, they're choosing to throw the draw and try and use those yellows later in the end.
They'll need to finish a little bit to bury under the corners.
This one's going to sail back 12. Allory's going to try and get it out.
That's not a bad spot when you're down 4, trying to load up stones in the house in places they can't remove them.
Feel yet or no?
You've got some room to work with, and it's fully buried.
Feel yet? Okay. Bring your weight down a little bit though.
Interesting here. Team Johnson, this is the first stone they could peel, and they're choosing not to peel, but rather just put one in the top 12 and keep the pressure on Team Pekowitz.
And with the two corners stacked on that side, it's going to take you 2 shots to open up that path if you're looking to just peel corners. So instead electing, as you said, to stack some stones in the center, keep the opponent chasing your rocks.
A guard would have been okay.
That's really not a terrible result either.
No. Julia now looking to play the hit and rolls we talked about earlier, knowing that, like you said, Team Johnson needs a couple of shots to move the ones on the left, but she also needs a couple shots to move the 3 in the middle. So
In-turn hit for Megan Stapera.
Yep, gotta go.
Trying to roll to the corner.
That's fine.
Does make the double on 2 of the yellow stones. So now sitting second and third with one under the corner guard. And for Team Johnson, probably looking to hit back, play a little more defense.
Yeah.
Allory seems very content just to keep control of the middle, not worried about the fact that her rocks are in play and could, in theory, help Team Pekowitz. She knows it's early, and so they can't abandon scoring altogether here.
Gianna Johnson playing the hit on this top stone. That's
Really good.
well done.
Now. Yep.
No double and roll available.
Yep. That's a little more than I gave you.
Julia will try the hit and roll here. She had a couple out-turn hits in the last end,
It was pretty close.
so this time getting to throw the in-turn.
ready straight. I feel like they weren't ready for yours to go.
I know she's been struggling with a wrist injury for part of the year, which has made throwing difficult at times, but talking with her earlier in the week, it sounds like she's healthy and ready to go, which is great to hear.
Straight! Hard! 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 Whoa! Why whoa? Why whoa? Yeah, I
Just
don't know
remove
why.
that stone on the top of the 12s and it rolls over
Why did you
the
call
open
whoa?
side.
We kept straight.
Yeah, I think it was a hair up, like a 9-0.
Johnson will be content to trade hits with these stones as long as they still have #1 count. So Gianna Johnson playing the intern. Stay away from the backing. We've seen these rocks take off on this line once they get off the center line, but looks like plenty of weight for that not to be a problem.
Whoa.
Hits and rolls all the way across and out, so now maybe an opportunity for Pekowitz to bring a 3 into play if they can roll all the way across.
Yeah. You could take this a couple of different ways. If you can get under the guard, it's great, but it's quite a long roll. If you roll open too, you're giving yourself a chance to secure that deuce. So some good options here for her.
This is a bit more. Okay, a little more. Just a little. Okay. Because I'm also doing more weight than I did last time. Yeah.
Intern hit and roll attempt. Julia Pekowitz.
Hard! Hard! Hard!
Megan Stapera going hard on it to hold it.
Does just end up being nose hit.
You saw Julia at the end kind of gesture up to call her off and allow it to curl, maybe get that roll the open side, mitigate the risk of the hit and roll here from Johnson.
I don't know, I'm fine with a roll, I'm fine with no roll. Just trying to get nose though.
So just playing for nose. They're content to hit out if they don't really have a great opportunity for a double on this shot. Now on your next, if you get a chance to slash, you may think about it a little harder because your opponent will probably have a simple shot for 2 on their last. But you don't want to give them a chance for 3 by rolling out by taking a chance on your first. So well thought out by Team Johnson.
Hard for the, whoa. No, no.
It rolls in the vicinity a little bit of the corner. What a good shot.
Yeah, this is a little more roll than she wanted for sure, and this is going to give Julia a chance to bury on her roll. Addison Neal, chance to bury on hers. It's interesting so far. There's been a lot of talk about speeds, weights, pro side errors from both teams, really. So they know this is a tight game. They know they have to be on the right side every time.
Neal attempting the hit and roll now. This intern side.
Hard!
Stapera trying to hold the line to roll the corner. Rolls a little bit, so now maybe a chance at that double for Team Johnson without a lot of risk. They can also roll. Looks like they're opting to play for the roll as opposed to the double. And anything in the vicinity of that corner could play into a jam too, as they'll have to hit to play 2.
Right.
Yeah. We just have to make sure we stay fully in on the roll.
This Johnson team in particular, one of the younger teams in the field overall. But again, as we mentioned, qualifying early through tour points, has been able to get a lot of experience on the women's tour this year, and has really made some leaps and bounds in their progress as a team.
Playing this one across the face of the stone, trying to roll under. And just over curls a little bit and rolls off the ring. So Open look for 2 for Pekowitz. Just has to hit the paint, get their second point.
Haven't been a lot of draws from this team at the last couple of ends, so Addison looking for the right weight after throwing a number of hits over the last 2 ends.
Final stone, third end. Addison Neal. Outturn draw to the house for a second point. Trailing 4-0, looking to cut this deficit in half.
Sweepers believe it's all there.
It's starting to curl now, so should be losing speed. Doesn't look too bad.
No, Megan's on it, just cleaning it in.
That will be 2 for Pekowitz, so they do indeed cut the lead in half, and now 4-2 after 3 ends of play. And in this third end break, we'd like to talk to you about Warm Room Hero. They're more than just software. They're curlers dedicated to building long-term relationships with your club. Warm Room Hero provides continuous support to ensure your website exceeds your members' expectations. Check out Warm Room Hero today at curling.club. That's Warm Room Hero at curling.club. Spinning around the sheets for scores in the other matchups. Clairview 3-0 over Nia Berg in the third. Allie Giroux and Miranda Shield tied 1-1 in the third. And on sheet D, Ava Chapman with a 4-0 lead on Gracia Berg in the third end.
That was a 4 in the first for Ava Chapman and a blank in the second from Gracia Berg. So after a tough battle earlier this afternoon for the Berg team where they battled back, they're going to have to do the same again against Ava.
Curl, gotta curl.
Our feature game again.
Hard to
Allory Johnson with a 4-2 lead over Julia Pekowitz. They have hammer here in the fourth. Going right back to the 4-foot after that center guard by Alexa Pekowitz starting the end.
Just a little bump. You want to go like board? Yeah, I don't mind that. Okay.
Sounds good. You got it.
Rock is fully visible from the hack, so Team Pekowitz electing to play after it.
Straight.
Little tight on the release. Addison Neal going early on the sweep.
Straight. Hard to get it by.
This
Okay.
is wrecking their guard.
Oh, that's okay.
Like, see, she just missed that.
So now wide open middle for Johnson and already sitting one. Ideal situation for them. They're going to go right under that corner guard too.
Free gift there from the Pekowitz team, getting a corner guard without having to throw one.
Room. Yep, hard line.
The outturn come around.
Curl.
Bailey Vadich,
Hard distance. Hard.
reigning rookie of the year, trying to get this to the paint under that corner.
Hard, touch. Hard. Hard, go.
Just stops short of the rings.
Sweepers jumped on that immediately out of her hand.
Do you want to go normal?
So it is close enough it could be certainly usable later in this end, depending on how things shake out. Julia electing to play the hit and roll here with Megan. Throwing the intern this time as opposed to the out.
Gotta go hard.
Hard.
Keep it right there. Don't let it cross the line.
Hard.
Yep. Hard.
Hard.
Hard. Right
Roll,
there.
roll, 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 roll. Any roll,
Hard
roll,
to
roll,
hold the line, trying to roll,
Okay.
ends up on the nose. Still some corners to use for Team Johnson.
9-5.
They have those 2 staggered corners they're trying to roll underneath on this shot.
Yep. Yep.
Morgan Zacher with the throw. Nice clean release.
Hard.
Allory going back and forth on the sweep call early.
Oh. That's fine. 9-6.
And that ends up on the nose as well.
Perfect weight. Just didn't move how she expected.
Let's go this way so if it goes a little far. Normal. I know yours are curling a bit more.
Okay. Okay, you got it.
Megan this
Outturn
time.
hit.
Lower, little
Coming
out,
down the
little
sheet
out,
now
low.
for
Can we roll away?
Megan
Yeah,
Stapera.
straight. Whoa, whoa.
I believe you're going to say Sean. Switching turns up this time.
Switching turns.
Okay. Left.
Just rolls out there.
Okay, let's draw under there.
This will give Allory a chance to draw under.
And you can get aggressive on this draw if you do touch your own stone. It probably ends up being a split, sitting 2 with hammer. And that actually may be a preferable result to getting around it.
Where?
As long as you roll your shooter deeper and don't leave a double back, it's not a bad shot.
Go, Bailey, go. Has to be in front. Has to be in front. Just Bailey. Whoa.
It'll be by and
Okay,
just
good
to be
judge, Bailey.
just behind the tee line.
I'm sorry.
So a freeze opportunity for Pekowitz.
Maybe a hair more.
We're still
That's
seeing
the
those
more.
rocks moving sideways at the end. The last couple feet, you see most of the action there. That one went from missing that tight guard by maybe 2-3 inches to only showing about 2-3 inches at the tee line.
So discussion in the hack here about speed, I'm sure, for Pekowitz. So Julia trying to lock this on. Outturn freeze.
Gotta be here. Line's great. Curl if you can.
They like the
Always
line
curl.
halfway down.
Can't
Now
have
just
a
trying
bump.
to
Whoa.
get
Whoa,
the speed
whoa.
right. Don't want to bounce off on this line.
Curl. Curl. Curl.
Curl.
Bounces a little bit, but on a good line. That's a good shot there by Julia.
That's certainly a great result.
Try and tap it. Some space.
Now here might be where you elect to play that split too, to open that stone up and get 2 more in the house. Tapping this stone, very unlikely you can do anything but sit 1 playing it. And if you keep stacking stones on this line, now your scoring space is getting very small.
I agree with you, especially because this is Gianna's first. It's still so early in the end. You'd hate to lock one on, leave them shot, and allow the other team to start throwing guards.
Whoa. Gotta curl.
Okay, well, we're there.
Gotta
Fine.
curl.
And that bounces off and taps it to a better freeze.
Sorry.
Julia, chance to get the nice roll here
Got it.
and really put the pressure on Team Johnson here with their hammer.
10?
I don't even mind less.
So I think 10. I'm Gord's going to take off.
Okay. 10
Here. Sorry? just 10, because we have
Here, 10 the call on the weight, so just playing solid control weight, trying to get across the face of this yellow stone and roll underneath the sit 2.
And this is right on that line where there's been a little bit of trouble for both teams. Some of these rocks have kind of caught that center path and curled. Others, depending on the release, have run much straighter. So bringing the weight down, hoping that it gives it a chance to bring the sweepers into play.
Straight. Hard.
This one crossing the center line already. Alexa Pekowitz holding it now.
Now curling.
Roll.
Got that one moving probably a little more than they expected, so actually rolls to third count.
Weight was good.
Now
Yeah.
you see that freeze back from Johnson.
They called it was heavy early, but just with that weight, just a little too much curl for what they needed. These rocks are only about 1.5 years old now, so they're still pretty lively, pretty sharp striking bands.
Always curl. Whoa.
Big shot here for Gianna Johnson. If she can make this freeze or something in the area to get shot,
Straight.
can still bring a 2 or a 3 into play.
Hard. Yes. Hard, Bailey. Hard.
Need to hold the line, not just to get by, but to stay high on that stone.
Yeah, stay on it. Okay. Good.
And that looks to be shot. Very well done. Great sweep, great call, great throw, good team shot.
That's good, though. 4. 90.
So now not a lot of space, Sean, for them to freeze back with Addison Neal's shot. Has to stay high to have any chance of still being shot rock, and now above the tee line too.
There is a little bit of space between that rock and obviously the one that they just tapped. So she does have room to bump it a little bit as long as they get by the guard.
Hard.
hard line. Whoa, hard straight.
Line looks very good.
There's
Whoa.
It's really good.
Julia loves it coming in.
Okay. Okay, that's fine.
Oh,
May have moved it out of count, so red actually sitting 2.
Yeah, the shooter definitely chopped off a little more than I think they would have liked. But at this point, sitting 2 and putting the pressure back on Team Johnson,
Here.
it's definitely a good result for
You
them.
just have to hit nose.
Okay. Yeah, just kind of clip it. And
Yeah.
I think we'll maybe sit 2 then.
9-5. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so too.
If Allory is able to clip that back red with the top red here, it could leave them sitting 2 at the end of this.
Yeah.
But it's going to
Just try and
be
move that back one just a
going to be
touch.
interesting to balance the weight and the line in order to do that.
Her 9.5 as the call for the weight. Just need to hit close to 3/4, maybe a little bit thinner than that to move that second stone and have your shooter stay in the 4-foot circle. So here is Allory Johnson playing this out-turn hit.
Yep.
Looks like plenty of weight.
Curl. Hard.
Trying to get it to curl to make contact and stay. Does pick that stone off, so sitting 1, not a bad result. We've seen, Sean, the striking bands on these stones, they're only 1 year old. Such live stones when you make contact. And with those as close together as they were, that red still squeaked through there easily to get through with just normal weight.
It also helps the ice conditions. The houses are pretty lively. You don't
Very
have a
much
lot
so.
of frost building up. There's no rocks are sticking when they settle for too long. So any contact really gets them moving. The pro side for Johnson here is not only their shot, but it is fully buried under those staggered corners. So the only thing that Addison Neal and Team Pekowitz can do here is draw down and try and lock one on it.
Very small space to throw to here for Addison Neal.
Where are we?
Same shot she just played, which is the advantage, but
Careful.
not an easy one by any stretch.
And no margin for her on the weight this time with nothing to see.
Straight.
This has to be a dead freeze on this line to be shot.
Straight, gotta go. Hard straight. Okay, line's good, good. Gotta be shot though. Go, go, go. Whoa, careful,
It is
careful.
by. Will it bounce enough
Good
to
shot.
give a shot for 2? Oh, that is so well done.
That is
Great
a
shot.
fantastic shot.
That's So tough to do with such a small space to throw to. So now forcing Johnson into a draw for one. Great team shot by Team Pekowitz.
Brilliantly called there by Julia in the house. Bill and Bill in their matching jackets look quite pleased for the moment.
Yeah, too good to match the team, obviously, but got to match each other.
I was told those were borrowed jackets from Andrew and Ben. No surprise there. Shout out to those two.
Final stone. Fourth end of play. Allory Johnson needs a draw to the 4-foot for her single.
Okay, line's really good, all you. Distance, full forward.
Sweeper's going hard. It's already starting to curl, so definitely needs to go.
They started early. We heard a 15-5 on the clock.
Go, 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 go.
This is going to check up top 12, top 8.
Just comes up short, so a big steal for Team Pekowitz in the fourth. Now trailing only 4-3 going on to the fifth end. Addison Neal with a big freeze to set up a steal of one for Team Pekowitz. Now a 4-3 game. Allory Johnson leading with hammer in the fifth end. Center guard being thrown by Team Pekowitz. Start the end.
Staying on the attack, trying to continue to steal points.
Intern come around attempt.
Really out.
Bailey Vadich.
Top 8, top 4.
Your top 8's the call.
Go, go, girl. Gotta curl. Okay, well. Back 4.
Top 4.
14-3.
Top 14.
Off.
T4. It's kind of rough.
Well, it's coming down.
Rock glides all the way
That's right.
to the back fours. But another counter in play, and with the height of that guard, not necessarily a bad spot. Alexa Pekowitz.
I was going to say, if this were a hard steal attempt, you might consider a tighter guard here, but given the game's still so early and it's only a 1-point game. Alexa coming in.
Sweeper's trying to finish to bury, even if it's in the house.
Okay, just a bit down.
Does just touch the top of the rings. Johnson trying to get a second in.
4 of 5.
So the out turn this time for Bailey Vadich, opposite side. This one curling really early. Looks to be short as well.
That's the second out turn this draw.
Is it over? Get it over.
Same with Alexa Pekowitz's first, that seemed to almost grab, where they were surprised by both the weight and the line result.
But smart there from Team Johnson, the sweepers,
4,
letting that
4,
rock
5.
hog and not leaving a third center guard up, as that will not help them with Hammer in this situation. Good opportunity now for Megan Stepera for a come-around draw to try to get her team back on the attack.
Looks close. 5. 3, 4.
That rock finishing up nicely on this line. Now trying to bring it all the way back. Ends up top 4, but a good spot.
One missed shot there on that unfortunate grab from Bailey on her second, and Team Pekowitz looking like another great setup here in the 5th end.
Outturn peel attempt now. Morgan Zacher trying to clear things up.
Gianna jumped on that right away. Hit a little thicker than she wanted, but was able to at least open up the middle, roll out to the slide path line.
You got it. Okay.
So Pekowitz looking to replace this guard. Make Team Johnson waste a few stones peeling rocks, and wise of the young squad, knowing they don't have to get shot rock right now. You still have 4 more shots after this. They need to protect for the time being.
Over curling, whoa, over curling.
This one's a cover too.
Need this to stop to guard up that rock in the top of the 12-foot.
There was a conversation between some coaches earlier today about how the biggest struggle in junior curling is not knowing what to do, but knowing when to do it.
Sure.
And this is, so far, has been a showcase in when to make the move.
So Zacher trying to play the rock in the top 12s around the guard.
Yes, 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 yes! Hard! Whoa, 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 whoa.
Sneaks by, gets both stones. What a shot. Clears both, now sitting at least 1, maybe 2 if that's biting in the top of the 12s.
Couldn't have made that any better. It does, all the same, leave Julia a chance on her first to come down and freeze on that.
Gotta be all the way down to it, okay?
Boy, they cut that close to the guard. Not sure if they thought that that was going to wreck and wanted to make sure it push it over more, but sneaks by and with 0 margin for error makes the double.
A little happy little accident for Allory and her team.
But an in-turn draw. Julia Pekowitz. Skip for her squad, throwing third stones.
Sweepers think it's heavy out of hand.
Guys, to it, all the way to it.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Freeze it.
Curl, curl.
Trying to finish up to get to that back stone.
Freeze
Looks
it,
to be
freeze
just
it.
fine.
Whoa, whoa.
Stops right on the back of the lid.
I kind of like peel.
You just try and tap it back.
I don't hate that either. That's fine.
Peel? I like that.
That's fine too.
A couple options here and discussing both.
Yeah.
Peeling the front, not a bad call.
Set up.
But electing to come around and try to tap that stone and getting to a scoring position. Gianna Johnson now looking for somewhere around T weight, maybe sweep to finish on that stone, enough to get shot.
The Pekowitz stone did end up buried, but as you noted earlier, that high guard is going to give Team Johnson a chance to chase it.
I like to go now to move that red stone to get shot. And does that just enough. And a great angle now for Team Johnson, too, as that yellow stays high and above the tee line. It's a really well executed shot.
Yeah.
A view of the crowd tonight here in Eau Claire. Staying warm with us inside as the snow and ice falls outside. We've had such a calm winter here too, Sean, that I think we almost deserve this at this point with how spoiled we've been in northern Minnesota and Wisconsin.
That's your northern guilt talking right there.
Yeah, I feel like it's good karma too. That it won't continue like this for another week or happen sometime in May or something like that.
Right. Meanwhile, in Denver, I hear it's 75 and sunny, so.
I don't want to hear about that. This come around ticks the corner and ends up spinning into the top of the 4-foot.
Mine, Addison.
Good plan B to get something out of that shot.
All in all, that's not a terrible result.
Yeah, I like the peel right now.
The Johnson position was really strong going into that shot.
What, Morgan, come and look.
And this certainly improved
Yeah.
the position of Julia and her team.
Yeah, if that rock doesn't tick that corner, then you could be looking at a big end for Team Johnson if that goes by.
Like the peel.
Okay.
I like it, but I don't. Just because then they do this.
Yeah.
They hit there.
I mean, do you ever just try here? Just don't want to set up the angle for them.
Yeah, no.
You know?
If we freeze here, and that's really good for them.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't like. Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to mess around with it too much. I mean, we could try to like it, but I don't like that, honestly.
I don't know. No. I mean, do we ever just guard? Do we ever guard and take our? I don't like that though. Yeah, I don't think so.
Need one here.
I kind of like just going here.
Just like the guard right now.
Weird.
Yeah. I mean, that's okay. Do you ever out?
No, I don't like timeout. Just go like a 3.
Okay, I like it.
So electing to go with the guard after that conversation, again, where that redstone ended up, really making them think about, is there a good way in that doesn't have risk?
Don't want to be too risky.
It might be something that you look at if you're playing a run back or something with an angle in. When you get to skip stones, maybe not yet. They also could peel the guard in the center and open things up, and then let your opponent decide what they want to do.
It was a good conversation. They really covered all the options. I think her first instinct was to peel, like you said. But what that does is that leaves her the run double on Addison's and could leave Pekowitz sitting 3. So they didn't really like leaving him that option. But as you pointed out, anything in the house really kind of benefits Team Pekowitz. So trying to keep it high here. Great throw here from Gianna.
Yeah, needs to hit the brakes still. I think I like that peel on the previous shot just because it's not lined up to miss that back red. Anything they do hitting is probably losing the red that second count. You may end up bringing the other yellow into play in the top 12 too.
That is true.
So first stone of the 5th here for Addison Neal. Now playing the out-turn side, trying to, at the very least, take away what they think is a draw for a second point for Johnson.
T. Straight.
I think they were just trying to throw it to a guard, but we heard T now. This is coming in right on that path they were talking about.
Hard.
It just sits angled on that top red. So that path, Sean, is definitely there to get to the button, as you saw that one curled past that line.
Absolutely, and that was what Morgan pointed out. Could we or they get there? And Allory didn't think so at the time, but
Try and catch
Addison said, "Hold my drink."
Like a 4-2, 4-1.
And this is one again where,
4-1 or 4-2.
because those stones in the back of the 4-foot are locked on.
Well, no, 4-2.
you can come and tap that if you have a perfect line. So that maybe if you get it again on your last, you could play in there for 3. But they'd be very content right now with getting this into second shot.
Stay close,
Very
stay
precise shot. Has to get fairly close to the guard, then walk in sideways.
Curl it.
Looks like plenty of weight right now. They need it to turn over.
This is coming in looking like back 8 right now. That's going to sail right through.
Yeah, line was probably very close to where they needed to be, but just too much weight. So now the guard attempt for Team Pekowitz to try to take that draw away. And then we'll have to take a look if there's something with that yellow stone in the top of the 12-foot that they could use to try to get in for a second point.
I think that shot's definitely there for Team Johnson.
It could be there for 3 if you just sneak by that rock in the top 4s. Maybe a little bit of risk.
Certainly some risk, yeah.
Straight. Straight.
I don't want it to curl. Oh no, leave it. Leave it.
The line's just fine as long as it stops. You're taking away the draw path you need to. Well, that's just fine. Let's see if they look at that either in off or slash. I think thin on the outside is probably the best way to make it. They feel that they don't want to take the chance, so they're going to take their single point. Throw this away on the opposite side.
2-point lead after 5 is certainly nothing to sneeze at, but you can kind of tell from Allory and Morgan's conversation that they felt like they might have had a chance for more here.
And maybe a little discouraged from that chip that spun into the 4-foot and changed the end around. So throwing it away, playing the in turn, going to the outside. Taking their single. They will have a 2-point lead. Going into the break, 5-3. And halfway through, it's time for the Broomfitters break. Broomfitters.com is the place for good curling gear and fast shipping on everything curling. For a limited time, take 10% off your first order with the code USA. Visit Broomfitters.com. Start of the second half of our game. Tyler George here with Sean Fraley.
Okay.
Team Johnson leading 5-3 over Team Pekowitz.
Squeeze curl right now.
Hair
Needs to
clicker.
curl.
First stone coming
Needs
into the
to
rings
curl,
for
gotta
Team
go.
Johnson.
Gotta go wait, guys.
Pekowitz
Gotta go.
going to the corner.
Gotta go.
John
Keep going,
Landsteiner,
keep
it's
going,
always
keep
faster
going,
after
move
the
it,
break,
keep it
but it
going.
looks like
Keep going. Get it over. Get it over. Get it over.
both teams
Holy
not
crap.
having any issue with that.
Capitalize.
They've been having trouble with that stone all game. So we may have an issue with that rock.
Wouldn't surprise me if they actually moved it around a little bit after the break, trying to see if it would mix, but here comes Bailey Vadich on her second after being top 4 on her first.
I thought I heard one of the players say, oh my goodness, that rock.
Yeah, gotta be 3. Straight.
Nonetheless, it is a hog stone.
Yep. Hard. Yep, keep going. Line's really good. Line's really good.
Be interesting to see now too, Sean, that the ice is held up very well
Curl.
in the later
Curl.
ends
Good.
of games from earlier today. 4th game today, 10 end games. Always interesting to see if at the final 5 ends of that 4th game, the ice still holds up. This is the biggest test that we'll see.
Line's good. Straight side.
4. 5.
Straight.
4.
Gotta be to it, guys.
4.
Hard. Gotta go.
5. 6.
Hard. Gotta go. Straight.
5.
Straight.
5.
Come around draw,
Hard
being
straight.
swept the whole way
I went all
down.
the way to it.
All the way to it, Meg.
Clears the
Good.
guard.
Whoa.
Good.
Good rock.
Actually comes out the other side, the top of the 4-foot.
Yeah, showing about 3/4 on the open side now.
Little tap's good.
Great weight, though. Good position to be in.
Yeah, a lot of mine have been.
Morgan Zacher throwing her out turn. Freeze or tap would be a good result here.
Whoa, take a look. Curl. Go. Hard, guys.
Sweepers trying to get this to the pocket of these 2 stones if they can. Would like to move that just a hair.
Good.
That's a good shot. Really well done.
Great result.
Bounce this one back a bit. Just come right to it, a little back. It bounces okay.
I think that's
Leg
about
back
as good
four.
as you can make that one, setting up that angle so the yellow goes onto the red with no catcher.
You got it.
Been very impressed with the rock position from Team Johnson. The execution side and the calling side, where they want to play these stones.
Straight.
Curl down.
Straight.
There's a level of precision
Straight.
in this game and throughout this field, really, that is really impressive.
Back eight.
Straight. Never off straight. Never off straight. Yep. Oh, line's good. Yep. A little bit. Good rock.
Good. Nice shot.
Good shot there from Megan Stepera, moving that yellow stone to the back of the 8-foot.
Control.
Now sitting first and second, looks like. The overhead views can fool you, but
Control.
pretty sure that that's 1 and 2.
Certainly putting a little bit of pressure, even though it is early on Team Johnson. Looking for the hit and roll here.
Morgan Zacher's second, playing the intern hit.
Yep. Whoa.
Soft weight
Curl.
on this side.
Curl. Hard for the roll. Hard. Go. Hard. That's good.
Makes the hit, but sits now open, so maybe a chance to get inside
Roll.
for Team Pekowitz.
Just a little one.
What wait?
What?
What wait? No, what wait?
Oh, what? Wait. 10-5.
Okay.
What? No.
What? What am I throwing? Just gotta get rid of that.
Yep.
So trying to get to the inside with this roll. Still not overthrowing this one, just
Whoa.
playing to get position.
Yep. Whoa. Whoa. Curl. And you roll in. That's fine.
That one behaving much the same that Morgan's did right before.
That's really good.
A little straighter than expected.
10-5. Okay. Board up.
A good chance to roll in now for Team Johnson. Whoever gets that roll on top be in better position. But for Johnson, if they can roll in, they'll have 2 yellows on top of that single red stone with a very small scoring space for Pekowitz.
Yes! Hard! Yep! Hard! Whoa! Yep! Hard! Whoa! Curl! 10-0. 10-0.
Pretty good shot. Rolls enough to take the inside away. And now being in the top of the 8-foot, it's not much that Pekowitz can do on this side.
No, that last shot from Team Pekowitz, that was a really good chance to kind of take control of the end. And it just hangs a little straighter than they expected. And all of a sudden, they're back on the chasing side.
Just like tight ice. Just keep it tight. Okay. A little more.
Pro side is that, yeah?
A little more. Yep.
Minimum ice.
I'm going to go board. I don't want to take a lot of weight.
I do wonder, Tyler, on this one, if they would consider that outturn, kind of draw tap the yellow-red to get some separation there.
Yeah, unlocking it wouldn't be a bad thing, but with the angle it's at, you may leave your opponent sitting 2. But if you're trying to score more than 1, you likely have to move that stone at some point.
Girl! Hard, you're doing it. Hard. Keep going.
Working this over, try to get close to nose, so does end up on the nose in the top of the 12-foot.
I like that.
I like that.
I like that too.
Allory actually looking to do that tap to unlock the red at this point.
4 hours, okay. Yeah, 4.
We'll see if this was the right play for Pekowitz or turns out to be the right play for Johnson.
Leaving that stone in the top of the 12s on the opposite side. Switching gears.
Whoa. I don't want to take ours out. Straight. Hard, Bailey. Good. That's fine.
Just
That
chisels.
stone, yeah, now it's a very interesting setup. I don't think Pekowitz minds that result.
I certainly wouldn't if I were her.
Has to be straight.
I will say the angles were good for Pekowitz because that rock, if they played the yellow-red, was always jamming on the back yellow. Now the angle's a little better for Team Johnson. She can play that yellow-red slash and kill the red.
Back line, yeah.
Okay, this has to be nose.
Nose?
Yep.
So they're only playing the tap,
Yeah.
just off nose. It's
You like
close
this?
to nose.
No, I know, but we have this in it.
If you ever could make that short slash yourself, you'd be in really good position. So it would stay high and kind of stagger those reds underneath the center guard too.
You know Johnson is looking to play that slash on her, so whatever takes that away is a huge advantage for Pekowitz.
So in-turn tap here for Julia Pekowitz.
Needs to curl a lot.
Close. Curl. Hard to
Leading
nose.
it to curl to finish.
Whoa. That's not bad.
And does move that rock out from under cover, now sitting 2.
Incidentally, she made the shot that you liked best.
Yeah, that's
Not a bad
actually,
result.
if they swept that a little more to hold the line and catch it thinner, it'd be even better yet.
You can always go over top.
I think we have to go that way.
You like that? Or we just come like that.
And just let him have that one there?
Yeah. And then on my next, we do it again. I kind of
say
like
we
that.
try
That's
over top.
safer.
No,
I
this
like
is
just
fine.
control weight though.
Okay.
That kind of a tricky
Yeah.
spot where it ended up.
I'm gonna look at it.
You can definitely slash it over the top and lose both. And the top red should go between those two yellow. Getting inside is difficult. You're probably only losing the back one, but trying to get your shooter into a better position, which would still be a good result too. A little concerned about playing control weight here and trying to catch it high.
10-5.
That could just push that top one close to the button, losing the back one. And then Pekowitz is drawing under again to sit 2. Here is Allory Johnson's first stone.
Yep. Hard. Yes. Yes. Hard. Hard looks really good. Hard. Hard. Not hard.
Squeezes by the guard.
That's good.
Ends up nosing. Not a bad shot at all.
And that was kind of the suggestion, if you will, that Morgan had, was if you leave your shooter there, Allory noted she can always play that same shot on her next one.
Right. And that's good thinking by that team.
Back
Having that rock there is so important. Now with Pekowitz and Addison Neal playing the outturn draw around the other side, they have a yellow stone they can use. So rock placement here for Neal will be very important.
Needs to be 4 foot, guys. Straight. Okay, line's fine.
Sweepers saying they need backing on this one already.
Straight, 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 straight.
Playing to that stone in the back of the 4 foot now.
That's fine.
And sits 2, so really not a terrible result again.
I
Yeah.
like that if we're gonna be good, yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't really anywhere she could put that one that wouldn't leave Allory a chance here.
Lock it on, that's really good.
Yeah.
They could use that yellow that they just threw for
Yeah, I kinda
that
like
short
that.
run that's lined up really good. Could sit
Close
4.
right heavy.
I mean, up here is fine because it might jam somewhere.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Looks like they're playing the outturn draw to the
Even like
backing
if it's
instead.
Unless you just
Good
want to
too.
try the hit right now.
No.
Just get
I
rid
don't
of
like
a
that.
couple. Okay.
I like the draw. Pro side heavy though.
Okay.
Well, gutsy call now with 2-point lead.
Pro side a little up.
Playing the
4-1.
freeze instead.
And
The
still
plus
pro-
side is it'll be very tough to remove if they can make
Okay.
this to a nose freeze.
Yeah, that was Allory's first thought. She also noted if she checks up and corner freezes on that top red, she could sit shot in a really good spot as well.
It just froze it.
Force Team Pekowitz to run in the yellow rock.
So outturn freeze attempt on this last stone of the 6th for Allory Johnson.
Line's really good right now. Top 4, back is fine. Just T. T's good. Pro side's back though. Oh, it's really curling.
Curling a lot
Whoa,
now. You don't
whoa,
want to end up
whoa
right
there.
between the two.
Just can't go through. Just can't go between them. Little rub off that.
Just
Good.
papers the one on the top of the button. Ends up sitting
Either that or do we do
close
this?
to shot rock.
Do you think you just get to it?
I think just to it.
Okay.
Almost the same thing I just threw.
Just the same thing.
Could
but
be a
just
tap there for
a little
3.
less.
Little less. Okay.
Should finish enough to get there. Could also play the double for
It's-
3
I
off
think
the
we're
one on the
It's
T
really
line.
close though. It's really close.
Hair
Just throw
less.
the draw.
Yeah,
just
multiple
we'll
options.
see
Good
if
thing
it's
that that yellow just caught a piece of that red. If that had managed to slide through the hole, that would have been really unfortunate for Team Johnson.
So they are playing the draw tap for 2 or 3. If you make contact with it with close to T weight, obviously you have to have
I'll
enough to
just go
get
for
to it.
peel.
Just have to touch it for 2, but if you can push it 1.5 feet, it will be a 3. Addison Neal has made a lot of big shots in this tournament already. She has a chance for another. Final stone, 6th end. Addison Neal
Street.
playing the out turn tap.
Street. Street. Whoa, whoa. Hey. Curl. Curl.
Looks like plenty of weight as of now, so
Curl.
need to
Both of
go
you
to get it to
straight.
curl.
No, not straight. Curl. Straight. Guys, you're really close.
Trying to get it there.
Go. Okay.
Just hangs out a little too much.
Okay, let's measure.
There's differing
Measure.
opinions on the measurement. It's only my second one of the
Yep.
week now, Sean. I think I'm going to go.
Close, I don't know.
Boy, that's close. My goodness.
Honestly, a little bit out. Felt less. Was it less? It looked like the same to me.
I'm going to let you make the first call.
One red, one yellow. Stop.
Man, that is really close. I think I'm going to go red.
It's probably them, but
Okay. I think it's yellow. We'll find out.
The overhead view, once again, can be tricky.
it felt less to me. Yeah, it was.
It's interesting. That was kind of the second or third time on that line in that end where we saw a team kind of jump it early for line and then end up having to curl it. I think the weight was a bit more than what Morgan was expecting in the house, but still.
So this just for a single point for either team, but a big point. Just barely goes past the 1 for the Redstone. And it does end up being yellow, so a steal.
Little people think. Let's just get it a little bit
That
better.
little touch on that draw, just enough to slow it down for a point. Team Johnson now leads by 3, heading on to the 7th end.
Twin Cities Orthopedics is ready to go with more doctors, specialty services, and convenient urgent care locations. Ready, set, TCO.
That steal of 1 for Allory Johnson in the 6th has them up 6-3, playing this 7th end.
Call there. It's always
John's
your
up. Yes,
Top
go,
four.
go.
Coming right into the rings here in the 7th.
Just you, if anything.
That last rock, a huge momentum swing, could have been as many as 3 for Team Pekowitz, which would have given them a 6-5 lead. Instead, it's a steal of 1, which gives a 6-3 lead for Team Johnson.
No, I think you're going the other way, so it should be different. Yeah. You got it. Wait's great.
Alexa Pekowitz throwing to the corner guard.
Line's good.
Down by 3, can't play the 0 or 2 situation now. Need to go all out offense. 4 ends to play.
15-5, it should sit. Good rock. Good spot.
Good.
Rock comes to a halt just before the paint.
Tiny tap. Just a little bit.
Interesting on
I'd
that
rather
one.
have you like here though.
Yeah.
Felt like there was a lot of rotation on that one, maybe accounting for what they've seen with that rock earlier in the game.
Yeah, same weight though.
Just playing same weight coming into the house again.
How's weight?
4-2.
Straight.
Weight. Up 4 T. Actually 4. Not 4, but Steve back 4.
Sweepers really like the rate as this one comes in.
Good. Good, Bailey.
Just has an offset tap. Leaves them sitting 2.
You got it. What? Yep.
So trying to get around that corner guard now.
Gotta go.
You got room.
2.
He's curl. He's curl. Needs to move right now.
3.
Line's really nice.
3.
It looks close.
4. 4.
Trying
Okay,
to carry
that's
this
fine.
stone
That's fine
at
spot.
least to a tight guard apparently, and nestles up close to it.
Tight. Yeah. Just like a guard, honestly. Tight 3. Okay, just a 2. 4, 3.
Great line on that last one. Just came up a little bit light.
And both leads have had a solid game too. Bailey Vadich for
No bad. Line's really
Team
good.
Johnson, Alexa Pekowitz for Team Pekowitz.
Room. Just gotta curl a little bit. Room. On its own.
It's worth noting this event, especially on the women's side, we have a number of families, sisters playing on the same team. We even have a family that's splitting up over 2 different teams in this event. So always nice to see new curling dynasties forming.
You got it.
Former teammates playing against each other, family members playing against each other. But who do you want to beat more than them?
Whoa. Whoa.
The tension is high.
Okay.
Megan Stepera gets one of those yellows out.
Give me something.
Looking for the hit and roll, just a little heavy.
Yes. You don't need the double. Just that. Okay. Firm. Firm. I have a hair less
Now
just to make
Team
sure.
Johnson looking to clear up those corner guards, and a smart play here.
Oh my gosh.
That's why it was so important to stick around on that previous shot for Team Pekowitz. Can clear these guards up now and try to keep things as clean as possible.
Whoa. Curl.
And this is one spot where we've seen it move inside out, but once it gets off that slide path there, we've seen it kind of straighten
She
out.
slid wide.
And sure enough,
7-9.
Now that was
slid.
just a little on the wide side, and everybody agrees on that. So good accountability.
it's always nice to hear.
And good to know for the next shot too. Do we need to adjust the broom, or is that just operator error? So another attempt now for Megan Stepera to get underneath those guards.
I like the way. 6. 6. 7. 7.
Finishing that draw up, trying to get as much buried as they can. That's a very nice shot from Megan.
Do you have any? Peel. Peel. Well, I don't like that. Okay.
Have to remember where you're at in the scoreboard in the game now too.
Okay.
The Freeze with the 3-point lead.
4-2.
If you make it, it's a good shot, but don't want to give your opponent more opportunities to get back in this game.
And you heard Gianna say she wasn't necessarily a fan of this, but Allory sees this as a way to get out of this end. It is only halfway through though, so.
And sometimes you get a little spooked by a previous miss too, you know, with that peel going by. You don't want that to be a reason not to play the right shot. And again, if you're going to make them like that, it doesn't make much difference, but extremely well done by Gianna.
There is something to be said for that too, because we talk about shooters having confidence in the shot before they throw it. and how important that is for making the shot. And even though Gianna didn't necessarily like the call, she committed to it and made it perfectly, which is really impressive.
Yep. Just draw to it, but if we're a little bit up, that's good. 80. Okay.
Seen Team Pekowitz make a bunch of these freezes for the last few ends. Looking for another one now. You did hear Julia say if they move it a little, that's okay.
No, no, straight. No. Straight.
Straight!
Plenty of curl now.
Straight.
This is by the guard. Taps that stone.
Oh my God, girl.
Now sitting second and third.
Yep. That was really nice.
Maybe still setting up
Same exact thing.
a multi-point end.
Okay, I like this. That's fine. Little less.
Allory trying to give Gianna the same shot she just threw, which is always nice. Still has a reasonable level of pressure on it, though, as you noted.
Where? Yep. Hard line. Hard. Whoa.
Now this one coming up short. So, and over curling a little bit, so now maybe an open hit to sit 2 for the time being.
That was a good 12, 15 feet lighter than her first.
Center line or here?
I'd expect maybe a similar weight here from Julia with that broom.
Play the same tap she just threw.
It's really close.
You'd like to move it out of the 8-foot if you can,
Close for 3.
to maybe get a chance at bringing the other red into play too.
Just nose. Hack up.
Heard her say hack there, so a little more.
Curl.
This is on the other side of the center line starting out, so it's going to have to curl a lot.
Hard piece.
Sweepers are saying it's heavy out of hand.
Hard on the yellow.
Okay.
Just moves that red sideways, and now yellow sitting 2 again.
Just like here. Because if we go here, what is it?
Just got on the other side of that break line. It really takes off getting over the center.
I like that though. Fair. Even if we freeze on our own, that's really. Can I get a hair more?
So same intern draw path again.
Okay, so like top 8.
It's like the sheet slanted that direction with all the rocks sliding over to that side.
Interesting, this is quite a bit more ice than she took on Gianna's rocks.
I don't mind that for this shot, making sure you have enough, as if it's on the wide side, you're still protecting your counter. Over curling is where you get hurt. So just making sure you have enough and sweeping to finish is the right way to play this shot. So Allory Johnson throwing her first with this 3-point lead in the 7th.
Here, hard. Always straight. Yep. Hard as far as you can bring it. Hard, girl. Curl it now. Curl it.
Now trying to get it to curl, to protect that #1 counter.
Hard, gotta go over. Hard.
May have still left a hole. So the idea was right in taking more broom, but the weight ended up being short, so it never carried to that spot anyways.
Yeah.
Doesn't appear as though
It's just tight.
they're looking at the hit.
I have all of the yellow.
Now seeing that they have all of it from the hack.
Firm.
Yeah, the team at the other end definitely helped assist with that, because Julie was fully prepared just to have that draw around for the 4-foot.
Firm.
Which honestly looks like the hole on that side's probably no bigger than the hole on this side.
Just playing the intern through the hole. Need to throw this pretty firm with this broom, as it's on the side of the stone. Addison Neal trying to come through the hole.
Yep. Hard.
Just squeaks by both and makes the hit. Sitting shot rock. Great shot there by Addison.
The same thing. No.
Gets a little low roll too,
Do
so.
we have this again?
They could come through and pick that off, but can't see all of it. So now looking at playing the draw, which probably is the right shot now.
If you can leave yourself sitting 2 in there, it at least mitigates the big end.
I like timeout.
They're going to call timeout and talk about this. So they do have
We can always let have this.
the draw through the hole. If you touch your own stone and push it over, it protects the number 2 counter too.
Yeah, I want to see how much of this I have.
But we'll listen in and hear what they're
I
thinking.
just want to see how much of this I have. Yeah, I mean,
Coach Tim Solon on the way out.
yeah. Yeah. I'm fine with like trying to pick that out. It isn't that, the port isn't that tight. Just like firm weight, pick it out. I like coming firm and just like trying to pick it. Do you like that? Like firm? Yeah. Well, thinking that. Then they'll just have this open hit for 3. Yeah. Draw through here. Yeah. I like the draw. Yeah. Right here.
Looks like they are playing the draw through the hole. I like the call here. And good conversation. If they did play the pick through the hole, and I believe this is what Coach Solon was saying, there's an open hit for 3. Even if you pick it out, you'd have to make contact with the other red stone in order to make that shot worth playing. So they do have the hole in the center to play this draw, and there's a couple good results you can get from it. If you do make it buried, you have a great chance of stealing. If you leave a piece open, it plays into a jam. And if it hangs and chips that yellow in the top of the 12-foot, it could end up as a split and protecting that stone that they could hit for their possible big end.
4-2.
Even if it hangs enough, you get the tap of the other one. That's not bad. You could actually use the shooter to guard both of those and really put Team Pekowitz in a bind.
So Allory Johnson throwing the intern draw through the hole.
It's not space.
A lot of good options.
How up? Straight for the tap. Curl, 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 curl.
And curling now, line looks very close. It's all on the weight.
Sit down.
Needs to stop.
Sit.
Ends up just going too far, and this may be a hit for 4.
Yep.
Can't tell with that number 4 counter.
I think you're right. I think this is there. What will be interesting is the shooter not wanting to get too close to that top 12. You take the hit for 3 here. 4 is a bonus.
Just normal.
So need to play this soft in order to keep the shooter around. Addison Neal.
Heard them talk about normal, so I think they're more concerned with just making sure it goes.
So intern hit for a possible 3 or 4 for her final stone here in this 7th end. They're playing a lot of weight at this. Yeah, they're still hanging. Don't want to just touch it sideways too. It ends up pushing it in for shot rock. So that will be a steal of 1 for Team Johnson. They lead 7-3 after 7 ends of play. And in this 7th end break, USA Curling would like to take this moment to thank the curling community for supporting the sport and the national organization, whether it's through your membership, donations, or volunteer hours that help our game grow. Your support makes many of our efforts possible, whether it's the webcast coverage you're enjoying right now, the Our House content platform, certification programs for instructors and officials, or the Athlete Outreach Initiative. On behalf of USA Curling, thank you for all that you do. Another steal for Team Johnson in the 7th end, now leading 7-3 over Julia Pekowitz in our feature game here at the 2024 U21 Women's National Championship. Look at the other scores here. Sheet B, Claire View with a 4-2 lead on Nia Berg. Allie Giroux leading 7-4 on Miranda Scheel on Sheet C. And on Sheet D, Ava Chapman, 8-3 lead over Gracia Berg.
Two ends in a row now where Team Pekowitz with Hammer has had a chance for a big end and ended up giving up a steal on just an unfortunate miss.
Yeah, opportunities have been there for them for most of this game. As you mentioned, shot for 3 in the 6th, shot for 4 in the 7th. Still down 4 points now, and gonna need a few to get back in this game. Another good start to the end from Bailey Vadich for Team Johnson. She's been very sharp.
Where do you want it? Like here? Well, I don't know, wherever.
Another 2 rocks in the house to start the end. And Sean, she's been instrumental in keeping the opponent chasing early in the end with getting rocks in good positions.
You got it.
Yeah, it's interesting what you said where Team Pekowitz, especially the last 2 ends, has had chances for big ends, but it's not because the setups aren't there for Team Johnson. Right. Bailey's doing everything she can to set that up, and it's just kind of how things are transitioning through the end. And part of it is Team Johnson allowing the rocks in play.
Yeah, and that decision with the not peeling in the previous end and having things more cluttered up, as we mentioned in the middle of it. Now it's all playing scoreboard at that point, and even making the freeze when they played that shot too. Still ended up with your opponent having a shot for 4 at the end.
It's like they're making all the shots they're calling, but they're leaving the door open in the strategy end of it.
Good come around draw to the back of the 8-foot there for Alexa Pekowitz. 2 good ones from her.
Allory so far agreeing to play this end out with her strategy the same way that they did the last couple. So.
Curl, gotta curl. Really gotta curl. Whoa. Well, we're really out, so we're not, leave it. Go, gotta be in,
may as well go as
yeah,
deep as you can now with this one, with it not getting to the center.
Just here. That's fine. Yeah, I was top 12.
You got it.
You're like on the edge of the rock right now.
You got it.
Team Pekowitz going to need to manufacture a multi-point end to get themselves back in this now.
That's fine.
Nose hit made, and not a bad position to be in. But probably see a hit
I like that.
from Team Johnson on the other side.
9-5.
Looking for the roll under, but if you're going to leave yourself with backing, it's not a bad way to make it.
Throw sides up. No, she said.
He's playing it across the face
Curl.
to try to get close to the corner.
Whoa.
This is just hanging on that center line.
It's fine.
It does go out
Good,
the
that
opposite
worked.
side, so good plan B to make sure that stone goes out. Your worst case there, obviously, the jam and rolling it under the corner.
This will give Megan Stapera another shot at the hit and roll.
Yep.
Always
Wait,
straight
guys.
right now.
4.
Okay, always straight.
Take a
Gotta
look.
be 8 foot, guys.
5, 6.
Gotta be
Trying
8
to
foot.
hold the line to get
8 foot, guys,
around this
8
corner
foot.
guard.
8 foot, gotta
Be
go.
around no problem. We'll see if it comes out the other side with how high that guard is. You see Julia Pekowitz saying just stop sweeping so it doesn't get all the way out. I think it got maybe a biter out of it too.
Okay.
So there's the peel attempt now from Team Johnson.
Bad read on my part on that one, but good result from her shot.
Good. 8-4.
Nice throw there. Gianna Johnson makes that peel.
If we know, that's not bad. Yeah, a little bit. Like
Good job.
fighting. Do you like just
Now you look at the house too, even with
I think you gotta get rid of
red
that.
with 2 in, if we believe that is a biter.
Okay, do you want to guard?
Such a safer position than you're in previous ends without
Edge of 4.
opportunities
four.
for your opponent to set up a multi-point end with guards.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's interesting here because now Julia's having to throw a guard to try and protect that end, to your point. But with Team Johnson making the peel there, Allory's in a position where she's sitting second shot and she's looking to chase at some point.
And now your opponent is the one throwing the guard. And if they're not coming into the rings, it's going to be tough for them
Line's great.
to score more points than what they have in. And they still need to remove both those other stones in
what?
order to make the biter count.
Absolutely.
Straight.
Line's good.
Whoa. Curl. Curl.
Whoa, whoa,
Whoa. Looks good.
whoa. Whoa, line.
Good.
Guard settles in a
Nice
couple
throw.
feet short of the
You
biter.
ever do this?
Now again looking at that freeze.
I don't hate that. Do you like this?
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice.
Even that's good.
I think they're a little worried about playing anything with a run and trying to lose those two. So
I think it's good because they're.
So now once again playing the freeze in a little later in the end than they did it before. This is one shot later. So Gianna Johnson, the freeze attempt.
Top. Whoa, where? Top 12. Curl. Take a look. Top 8. Top 8. Whoa, guys, whoa. Whoa. Top 8, top 4. 14-8. Curl, always curl. Morgan, go. Go, Morgan, go. Go, go,
If the
go,
weight's
go,
good,
go.
it should nestle up to the corner of that stone.
Oh, I hit that one really bad.
She moved that one back.
I definitely, yeah, just give it a kick. Yep, that's good enough, yeah.
So ends up a nice freeze.
Your line was great.
Again, those rocks just kind of walking sideways there, that last foot.
So have to unlock those stones in order to try to
Right to it.
make the other reds count. But that biter is just about out of play now for Team Pekowitz without something strange happening the last few shots. So you're trying to make your shooter count and possibly that stone that they just froze onto at some point in the last few shots.
Sweepers are pretty sure this is all there on their own.
Whoa. Straight. Straight. Hard. Hard.
Straight.
Looking for a piece of this rock to try to slow it down.
Okay.
Barely misses it, but ends up going by.
Okay. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, I like that. So like edgy? Here more.
Like right there.
Okay, less.
Pro side's light.
Not exactly sure what they're playing
Like top
now.
12, 3's fine.
She was looking kind of like a top house, effectively a guard for that shot rock. Something over on that side. Short's the acceptable miss. Don't want to set up anything that's a double, but
Yeah, top 12.
Hey, you got a great look at
Can I get a little less?
hitting your yellow
Right here?
stone to
Yeah.
remove that red and sit 4. Refreezing wouldn't be terrible either. There's a little danger with playing anything short that you're going to allow your opponent something to go around again.
right.
Oh.
And again, looking at the scoreboard, 4-point lead.
A little out. Always curl. Always curl. Three's okay.
go,
Light's
go,
fine.
curl.
Pro side's light.
Gotta curl.
Always curl though. Pro side's light.
Curl.
if you
You gotta
can.
be buried.
Yep, all the way. Looks really good. Yep, distance.
Keep going,
two,
keep
distance,
going, keep
two,
going.
Distance.
At least helps close the gap and gives them a chance to steal out.
Straight. Straight. Whoa. 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 Yep. Whoa. 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 No. No. No.
Let's make contact
Yep. Just
and
heavy. That's
rolls
okay.
all the way across.
Just because I'm doing
Still
the
sitting 2 now for Team Johnson.
How much of this?
guard that,
I
right?
think guard that, yeah. I mean,
Although she doesn't have anything else.
maybe she makes that double for 2, but
But I'll give that to her.
yeah. I think we guard for sure. They just did this.
Yeah.
That's what they want. Even less.
Looks like they're going to guard the #1 counter. I don't see any shot for 2 as of now with where the rocks are set up.
I think there might be a triple for 3.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'm seeing what you're seeing. I don't think that catches that stone on the top of the 12-foot. I think it goes behind it. Yeah, I don't think so.
You don't think it's there?
You
All
can
right.
have that one. I'll
That's
let
fair.
you throw that one. Coming
I-
off the top one. You got to throw an absolute howitzer to get those second 2 out coming off of the first stone. Because you have to hit flat on top of the second stone in order to get it.
Yep.
Curl! Hard! Cross center! Hard, Yana, hard!
So trying to get this to cross center to guard that #1 counter.
All the way, every inch, hard, Yana, hard! Hard, go!
She's going to be able to chase it with the end turn through the hole.
That's still just for 1 point.
Yep. My personal hope here is that she would try the triple for 3 just to see if it's there, but something tells me we're not going to get that wish.
I don't think anyone in this building has it. I'm not sure Kevin Cooey has it.
Same way I've been throwing.
This is why you bring me in, for color, right?
It's a very colorful shot, yeah. So there's a shot through the hole for a single point. Addison Neal trying to keep her team in this game. Johnson sitting 2 right now. So final stone, 8th end.
Whoa. Yep. Straight. Straight.
Sweeping early to hold the line.
Okay. All right. Just tight.
Looks like that's going to be on the guard. So that'll be a steal of 2.
Good game.
And handshakes for that one. A 9-3 final. Team Johnson takes the victory over Team Pekowitz. And Sean, after a slow start, a lot of rocks in play, fun one to watch, and really a closer game than the score indicated, with a couple shots for big ends that Team Pekowitz had a chance at in the second half, just couldn't convert.
I think you had it spot on. Those last 3 ends were really interesting curling ends, and with plenty of opportunity both ways for both teams. But Julia Pekowitz's team had chances to get back into it and just wasn't able to convert on that 8 rock multiple times in a row. So tough way to go out, but as you said, the score definitely looks worse than the balance of the game was.
So thanks, Sean, for joining us in the booth for this evening's game and giving some great insight and commentary.
Appreciate the opportunity. It's always fun with you guys.
And we will be back at 10 a.m. tomorrow for the next men's draw. Feature game with commentary once again. Hopefully in some nicer conditions outside, but still nice and warm in here. For Tyler George, Sean Franey, and the Curling Stadium crew, signing off for this evening. We will see you tomorrow morning.